Inflation is an important part of our economic system, yet most of us just don't know much about it. We will explore some of the most interesting facts about inflation, from what causes it to how you can protect yourself. You will find out all the information you need to be informed about inflation and its effects on your finances. We will also discuss how fiat money, governments, and central banks control and influence inflation. By the end of this video, you should have a good understanding of inflation and how it affects the economy. What most people don't know about inflation. Inflation is a general rise in the prices of goods and services in an economy. It's important to understand inflation because it can have a big impact on our everyday lives. Most people don't know about inflation, and that's why it's important to educate yourself on the topic. So, here are some key facts about inflation that you need to know. Number 1, inflation is defined as a sustained increase in the price of goods and services over time. Number 2, inflation has wide-ranging effects on the economy, from causing difficulty for individuals and businesses to making it difficult for governments to finance their debts. Number 3, causes of inflation vary from country to country, but there are typically several factors at work. These factors include increases in the cost of raw materials, wages, or food items, global economic fluctuations, and government policies that affect consumer spending or investment decisions. Number 4, the effects of inflation vary depending on who is affected by it, individuals or businesses, and can be positive, such as an increase in purchasing power, or negative, such as increased debt burdens. Number 5, central banks around the world use various methods, eccentric monetary policy being one example, to fight against rising prices and maintain stable economies overall. While there is no guaranteed way to prevent all forms of inflation, understanding its dynamics and how it affects you will help you prepare for potential problems down the road. What causes inflation, and how can you protect yourself? Inflation is a common concern for many people, and it can have a big impact on their finances. Whether you're just starting to think about inflation or you're already concerned about it, understanding what causes inflation and how to protect yourself is important. In this section, we'll outline the 3 main causes of inflation in the economy and discuss the impacts that they have on individuals. We will also provide strategies for adjusting your finances to reflect potential inflation trends and discuss some of the financial products that may help protect you from its effects. Finally, we'll recommend some ways to invest in order to mitigate the impact of inflation on your portfolio. And by doing all this, you can arm yourself with the information you need to make informed decisions about your financial security. So, what does inflation mean? Well, in simple terms, inflation is an increase in prices over time. This might happen for a variety of reasons: increased production costs, increased demand from abroad, or increased wages, but it all results in higher prices overall. And this can be problematic for many reasons. Not only do high prices put more pressure on wages and budgets, but they also tend to cause debt levels to rise as well. Over time, this can lead to instability in the economy and even poverty among certain groups of people. What are some ways that I can protect myself against rising prices? Well, there are a number of different options available, from investing in financial products that offer protection against inflation, such as bonds or CDs, to making adjustments to your budget, such as cutting back on discretionary spending. It's important to find what works best for you. There isn't one single solution that will work for everyone, but understanding how inflation affects your finances is essential if you want to stay ahead of its effects. How fiat money, governments, and central banks control inflation. Inflation is a problem that has been plaguing economies for centuries. It's a situation where the cost of goods and services continues to rise over time, even though the amount of money in circulation remains the same. This issue can have many negative consequences, including higher prices for basic necessities like food and shelter, decreased purchasing power for people who rely on fiat money, money that doesn't have a physical form, and even financial instability. To understand how inflation works, it's important to first understand what fiat money is. Fiat money is simply any type of currency that isn't backed by gold or other precious metals. Governments create fiat money by printing it out, which gives them more control over how much money is in circulation and affects the rate of inflation. The effects of government spending on the rate of inflation are complex and depend on a variety of factors, including the size of the government budget and how efficiently it is used. Large governments with large budgets can cause high rates of inflation because they can spend an unlimited amount of money without worrying about running out of resources. In contrast, Small governments with limited budgets may struggle to keep up with inflation rates because they are forced to spend their resources more prudently. Central banks play an important role in controlling inflation by adjusting interest rates. This action allows them to influence how much people want to borrow and spend, which in turn affects overall economic activity and prices. While central banks have been able to control inflation within a fairly healthy range for most years, there are occasions where it has become too high or too low, known as stagflation. Understanding historical trends is helpful when predicting future movements in prices. Trends such as population growth or technological advances can cause prices to change faster than usual over time due to increased demand or supply respectively. By understanding past movements, you can make smarter decisions about what actions you should take now or in the future if you want CPI, Consumer Price Index, levels to stay within a healthy range. One common solution that governments use when faced with high levels of inflation is to print more fiat money. This will increase the supply of currency available on the market and lower prices accordingly until equilibrium is reached again, although this process may take several years. In cases where low levels, like less than 2%, or no level, less than 0% of inflation are desired, central banks may choose not to adjust interest rates at all. This strategy is known as quantitative easing. So, all in all, inflation is a major force in the global economy that can significantly impact people's lives. Although it can be difficult to predict, there are steps you can take to protect yourself from its effects. In particular, like understanding how fiat money and central banks control inflation. That's essential in order to make informed decisions regarding your finances. Taking the time to educate yourself on this important topic will help ensure that you are prepared for any economic changes that may come your way. Take action today by increasing your knowledge of inflation and how best you can protect yourself from its potential impacts. And with that, we've reached the end of this video, all about inflation. If you enjoyed it and you found it interesting, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content just like this. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in the next one.